Welcome back to Nest Studios. I'm your host, Tendo, and today we are looking at the Transformers Studio Series 86 Slug and Swoop. Since I've already covered Grimlock, my Fall of Cybertron Grimlock, and since that video got plenty of popular views, thank you very much, I appreciate it. I figured why don't we cover both these Dinobots here. Now, I got about 3 of the 5. All I need is Sludge and Snarl. So, comparing to my Izuku Midoriya figure, pretty good figure by the way, get at GameStop, and Midako, hashtag Izuruko, these two are pretty huge. They're pretty huge. I'll start off with Swoop because he was the second of the Dinobots that I got. Now, if you probably noticed, there was some warping on this figure, and that had to do with the way you gotta fold his hands out, which is pretty hard, to be honest with you, but overall, this is a great pterodactyl mode, very akin to when I first saw Swoop in the G1 intro of Season 2. You know, him swooping down, and just that focal point of that intimidating noggin of his is just wonderful. Big old Autobot symbol there. Same on both of the wings right here, and yeah, this Dino mode is pretty freaking sweet. Pretty freaking sweet, I would say. And you know what? There is another dino that I have that I will tackle right now. He's more of Grimlock's therapist in a way. This is Jawbreaker. Yeah, Jawbreaker. Now, the concept of Grimlock having a therapist friend like Jawbreaker is pretty cool. The problem is, he was introduced into what I would consider a horrible show. I think it's a major insult. I get what they were doing, reintroducing some characters, but the problem is man, it's way too woke, and they gave they/them pronouns to a robot. And honestly, look, I don't support Trump, but male and female, I can easily tell the difference. I can easily tell. So yeah, there's with that out of the way. I like his little dino mode where he can deliver pretty powerful headbutts, and he's colored like a Jawbreaker too. Just don't heat it up in the microwave and try and take a bite out of it because it'll explode in your mouth. I've watched an episode of Mythbusters to understand that, and I'm not that stupid. But back on Swoop here, yeah, this is a great robot. Dino mode, pterodactyl, very intimidating. Now, Slug, on the other hand, I actually like it. I like his dino mode too, little Triceratops. Pretty cool. And also, the gun is stored on the tail, which gives him much better, tail walloping action right there. And he also comes with Daniel Witwicky. And they haven't even done a figure of Dano yet, unfortunately. So this is pretty much all that we got right now, because I do have Spike Witwicky, but he'll have his own video soon. Matter of fact, since I did review 4 Scout figures, I say, why the heck not? Here's Spike. Here he is. Now, you hear that? Ring-a-ding-ding, ring-a-ding-ding. It's from his wheels. I picked this up at a Walmart on the West End, and apparently it was very surprising that they had these in stock, and I just had to pick it up. Again, very surprising indeed. Also, very nice figure, too. Oh, yeah. And he comes with those particles as well, too. These little blast effects. So you can actually assume his cannon mode, something like this, and he's pretty much good to go. So there's that. And comparing him with Dano, they're about the same size. I'm hoping he gets. Excuse me. I'm hoping I'll get his upgrade kit soon. Because so far I've kind of been a little bit smitten on those upgrade kits because, the robots are fine the way they are. You ain't got to upgrade them. And yes, I do keep up with the news on the new products coming soon. You better believe I'm going to get to that Studio Series Devastator, the HasLab. Oh, that HasLab freaking combiner. Have you seen it? Oh, Lord, what was his name? Lio Kaiser. Lio Kaiser reminds me of Voltron in a way. But anywho, let's get into their articulation. Swoop has some noggin action. And his mouth can open, which can also... You can also put in a blast effect. Seriously, guess the name of this blast effect. Of the blast effect this belongs to. And I promise you, that'll be my next review. But yeah, he has that opening mouth. Pretty sweet. The chest is a little bit finicky. He's got movement on the wings. And he also has some swivel on his missile launchers, which are pretty sweet. And that's about it. But if you want to be a daredevil, you can detach his real legs and make do with his small little talons, which have their own little bend right there. That's up to you. But then again, most of these joints are more for the transformation. This wing likes to come off a lot, so there's that. Let's take care of this rattler here. So his head articulation, I don't know if you can probably see the way it moves. It's pretty interesting. It's on this little slot that moves back and forth, which is pretty cool. The arms are very interesting. They got bends here, and you've already seen that swivel. No waist. It's okay, no waist. And the legs can bend, but with the feet, they're sadly in this spread out form, so you can't really articulate them, which, it's fine. What can you do? I still think this Spike Witwicky figure is okay. Jawbreaker here, he's also got great articulation. His mouth can open, just like that. And you could move this up and down, but that exposes the real robot head. And his legs can move, if you want to get them to move. And this is basically his arm right here. So it's got a bit of ratchety goodness. It's okay. His feet can rock back and forth, and so can his arms right there. His well, I would actually call this more of one of his ankles. His little arms are on ball joints. He's got guns, of course. We'll get into that later. And his long tail can move up and down, which could also be used as a whip. But I got a better idea for what Jawbreaker can use that tail for. Now, Slug here, and yes, his original name was Slag, but because of, the British, no offense, of course, the British are pretty cool, his name is now Slug. His name was Snarl, but that's only in Transformers Animated. Of course, there's opening mouth and blast effect compatibility. His little legs can move. You hear that? Oh, clunky, ratchety goodness. They could spread out too, but that's more for transformation. And these are more for his elbows. No noggin, unfortunately. That's okay. He's got a swivel there and a bend right there. And, yeah, that's pretty sweet. Pretty cool. All four of these figures are pretty cool. That's all I gotta say. Pretty nice. What can you expect from Hasbro? With some of their limitations, especially in the past, I still think they're doing a great job, especially with Age of the Primes. I cannot wait until that set releases. That is going to be a fun set. And now let's get on to the transformations. So, with the Spike here, we're gonna first take off these blast effects. Gonna set them down. Then you wanna take the cone and rotate it around. Then here's where it gets interesting. There is a swivel right here, and then you gotta swivel it back, just like that, and do the same thing on here. Let me try and get this camera centered here. My apologies. Then we move that up there. Then, let me see. Oh yeah, there's also this joint here that moves, but I believe it angles down here. Maybe not. Oh, there's a little port right there where you can put his legs in. And speaking of which, his legs are pretty interesting. They have their own double bend. Okay, let's see. Well, I don't think you want to rotate these around. I haven't transformed these in a while, my apologies. Okay, so you want to rotate these legs around, then bend them upward, I guess? Bend these upward. Oh boy, I'm butchering it. Oh boy. Ah, man. Okay. I can do this. I can remember. That involves folding these around. Something like that. Oh boy. Come on. Yeah, it's supposed to form a rocket-like vehicle mode here. I think that's how it's done. I'm not so sure. Again, I'm butchering it. Huh. Oh, man. Just give me a minute, actually. Alright, I hate to cut it there, I'm sorry, but I think I actually got it right. Yeah, I actually got it right. This is what, Sam Witwicky turns into in the cartoon, actually. Oh yeah, that's what that's for. You gotta bend it all the way down, and you have this little rocket motor mode, whatever it is. It's alright. Still very noisy. Excuse me. And it rolls pretty well, too. His little rocket mode. And you can actually put in the blast effects right here. And there we go. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine the way it is. It's not perfect, and that's okay. Yeah, it's an okay mode. Again, very akin to his mode in the original cartoon. Speaking of original cartoon, let's move on to Big Boy Swoop. So, with Swoop, you gotta be a little bit careful at the same time. Try and exert a little bit of force. Oh, excuse me. Since he's big, let's move it up. Okay. So, what you want to do, you'll want to detach the neck. And see, these are going to be his actual feet right here. They'll bend down, bend a little more, and you can flip out the heels. And the real pterodactyl talons will really just sit right there. Then you'll want to actually open up his chest. And then the next few steps involve a little bit of canoodling, but you'll get there eventually. So you'll want to open that pterodactyl head up. And that tab right there is going to connect in with within the pelvis. Let's see. Oh, you really got to force it in there, but it'll eventually rest easy. Yeah, I don't think that's on a double joint. So there's Swoop's head. Very nice noggin. Then with the wingtips, just get them out of the way. Get them out of the way. Fold them back to your heart's content. Pretty good waist swivel, actually, but we'll get into the articulation. Now, folding out the hands is going to be a little bit hard. You really got to dig in there and try your best to get those out, and they'll fight you. Then again, that's the perks of having a big Dinobot. Come on. Come on. Come on. See, that's why... Okay, so we got one hand out. That's why the sword has some stress marks at the tip. Those hands are tough to bend in. Oh, excuse me. Those hands are tough to flip out. This is a great dino form. This is a great Dinobot. More colors on him. With that heroic blue. There we go. So, there's Swoop in his robot mode. Pretty sweet, but we'll get into that in a second. We'll just plug in his swords. I like to double wield them because this is supposed to be a Grimlock's sword, but I like his double wielder. I like it when he double wields the swords. It's pretty cool. So, Swoop's done. Let's get in a Jawbreaker here. Now, this is a mainline toy, and this is the Japanese release has much better paint on it. So, these hands are going to tuck into what will be the torso. We'll actually unpeg the tail for better movement and unpeg his guns. Then what you want to do, tuck in the dino foot and basically rotate it around so the hands can point down. And get it so they move in. So you can maneuver these complex joints, something like that. And you could leave them in this little Geodude-like form, but I mean, if you watch the cartoon, I mean, are you serious? Come on, there's better cartoons. I don't know, the original, the Michael Bay films, TF1, which was the last good film before Chris Cox said, no more films, sorry. Then, you've got to unfurl the head, the dino head, and rotate his noggin around. Then what I like to do is take his guns and point them up like this. Now, people like to wield, put Jawbreaker's tail on his hand and act as a whip. What I like to do, just keep it in there. Keep it in there so we can actually do pretty dynamic tail whips. So, there's that. And finally, oh boy, finally, a slug. So, you'll want to close the dino up, close up the dino's mouth, and actually untab his electron gun. And, oh, be careful with that. That didn't sound like a good click at all. So, this portion of slug will be his legs. What you want to do, take the hind legs, fold in the foot, and fold in the, I don't know, the calf, or fold in the calves, and then there's this part you open up, and you fold in there, click it, and you got a robot mode leg done right there. And do the same thing, fold in, and then give it a click, open that up, get the foot out of the way, click that in, boom, boom, and then pull out the thighs and stand them up. You could rotate it actually if you want to. I'll do that right now, and here's where it gets good. here's where it all gets good. Hello, Spud. How are you? Looks like Spud's gonna go for a rest. So here around here is where the magic really happens. So as you can see how I detached it, the stego bits actually come off. Alright. Then you can open up the dino head if you wish, and you can pull out this portion if it'll be good to you. Come on. Well, actually, oh man, it's fighting me. We'll focus on that later. So then you want to tuck in the tail somewhere around here. And these will actually be like the wings on the original Grimlock toy. You can see there is a little port there. Okay, and now the Dino Noggin. Hang on, let me tilt this up. Okay. Let me rest a little. Okay, so here is where things get a little bit finicky. Because what I want to do is get the Dino mode straightened way out. Oh, man, but again, okay, we got the head tucked up. There's the noggin. Oh boy. Oh boy. Screwing up here. Screwing up. Come on. Yeah, because his mouth is divided into a few layers. Alright. And you can re-coordinate everything that you just uncoordinated with and line it up, and we're almost done. Let's reposition that backpack of his. Come on. Come on. And these hands are pretty easy to fold out too. You just click at the nub until it actually does click in. Rotate it around. Get the stego bits back into place. Make sure the backpack doesn't really fight you in between all of this. Come on. Come on out. Come on out. Wow, and I said this was easy. Come on. Probably stick the gun in. And there. Use it like a little lever. Pull the lever, Kronk. Okay, Dino's almost done. Because now the backpack likes to fight me. Oh yeah, looks like you gotta slide in the grooves and then do a little bit of dilly-dallying. Oh, come on, you. Okay. You know what? The backpack's good enough. And our journey is practically over and done with. And so we got Slug here, finished up. Plug in his little gun right there. He's having trouble standing, I don't know why. Oh, knocked over Swoop. Get Daniel plugged in somewhere around here. Come on. Sit down, you. Yeah, there's no articulation on Daniel, really. So, and... oh boy, knocked over Mitiko. And there we go. There is everybody. So, compared to Izuku and Mitiko, all four of them look great. Especially Slag, or Slug, whoever you want to call him, depending on which generation or what country you're from. The robot mode on Slug, excuse me, it reminds me of, you ever played Angry Birds Transformers? For me, that is pretty much the closest thing we got to an actually good game. And Slug reminds me of Heatwave, or Terrence's counterparts from there. He's stocky, he's stoic, and he has the accessories needed to either boost up his fire rate or just be there for decoration that is not either sunglasses or a fireman's hat. But yeah, Slug looks nice in his robot mode. Even though I keep most of my Dinobots in their Dino modes because, duh. I mean, their robot modes aren't so bad. Especially Slug here. And Swoop is also really nice too. The wings are very dynamic. The swords are wonderful. And his articulation is just great. He looks very heroic. I especially love the head. The noggin is just wonderful. See, Slug here has the hooded look similar to Motor Master or Wind Charger. Meanwhile, Swoop has this little dino-like crest right here. And the back, there's no backpack. That's how, that's how good Swoop is. There's no backpack. Though the only thing weighing him down really is the wings, but it's okay. It's okay. And Jawbreaker he's okay. He's okay. Apparently he's not only Grimlock's therapist, but also the big tough guy of the group of these Terrans. They're still Autobots, and I guess I made an exception to my Earthspark thing. It's like, avoid anything from Transformers Earthspark, including the TV shows. But yeah, he's okay. Yeah, he's got a nice articulated tail, which this is my preference. You guys have your own preferences. He's very gorilla arms-like. Longer arms and shorter legs. That's pretty much what they got going. Actually, let's tackle the articulation. Noggin's on a ball joint. Does some nice rocking back and nice up and down looking. He's got his bends at the arms, and the leg articulation from the Dino mode adapts to here. No waist. Again, this is kind of a cheap little mainline toy. He's got nice bends, and that's how far the ankle tilts. And if you did put the tail on, he's got a little swivel and hinges right here too. So there's that. That's what makes Jawbreaker look good. Swoop is about the same. But only difference is, so you've seen the aforementioned waist swivel. It makes him look more dynamic. He's got the ball joint, good range of articulation. He's got nice arms, which are there's no ratchets in him, unfortunately, but he's got nice little clicky ratchets in the legs, and he has some swivel at the wrist, which Jawbreaker didn't really have. And his wings, they of course have their own articulation with a double bend, and well, that thing likes to pop off, so it's imperative you don't bend them too much. You could move the missiles around, but I like to keep them up because, you know, he's more of a hero than a warrior. And Slug, on the other hand, is also pretty good. You could move his noggin around a little bit, even though some of the movement's restricted by the Triceratop hoodie. He's got nice little move outs, which they also go through with the Dino mode. He's got wrist swivel as well too. Nice bends and nice swivels there. He's got a nice waist, pretty good waist. Even though the kibble is, of course, as finicky as ever. Clickies. Clicky clicky. More clicky clicky. Nice little rocker there. And look at that ankle pivot. You better believe this man scales mountains and fights on them too. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But yeah, those are good robots. I just wish Daniel was a bit better than his Papa Spike. And as nice as those guys are, that's going to be the end of our video. But if you did enjoy it, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm Birdtendo. Keep it unreal, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Till then, stay warm, stay safe.